Hello and welcome once again to Inside Politics, and the station still is Universal Television, UTV Africa. My name is Maduka Ojimadu. I'm your regular host on this show, and what we do is we talk about Nigeria. We talk about the state of the nation. We look at Nigeria's politics, its policies, its growth, its development, and in doing that we bring experts, government officials, those who are in the know, and those who have something to say to come and talk to us and help make sense of the issues happening in the country. It's needless to say it's political season, but we cannot do anything as a country, including play politics, if we do not have a secure country. So we are looking at the state of Nigeria's security today, and also juxtapose that with safety toward the electioneering period. Well, my guest today is a very well-informed and outspoken security expert. He's Justine Ugah. Ugah Justine, great to have you join us today. Welcome.
Thank you so much for having me on the show, and we hope to discuss as citizens on how we could achieve good security in our nation.
All right. So, it goes without saying, everyone knows the saying that the primary goal of governance is the security and safety of the people. It's the basic thing. If a government is not able to dominate its space, provide security for institutions, provide security for individuals, for businesses, then you cannot start, basically. And we're looking at where the state of security is in Nigeria today. And some people would look back at what you could say is the turning point, starting from about 2010 up to 2011 and all the way down to today. And the consensus seems to be that Nigeria is not where it's supposed to be security-wise. Before we go into current dynamics, I just want us to start on this note. How safe does an average Nigerian feel today? As an expert, if you were to give a quick few paragraphs or a few sentences of analysis, what would you say is the state of Nigeria's security today? Where are we?
Oh, fantastic. An average Nigeria, we can really tell you that more than 100 million Nigeria are living under fear.
That's more or less 50% of the population.
Exactly what I'm saying. That's the word average, if I understand English a little. All right. So a situation where up to 50% of the population are living under fear, you know what that means. A lot of persons cannot sleep with their two eyes closed. A lot of citizens, both within the mainstream city and suburban and then local villages, are living under serious fear. We have seen situations where people wake up the next day inside bushes because their villages have been overrun with insurgency, maybe H-men, places like Benue, Plateau, Niger. When you go a little bit up north, you have banditry, and you have a lot of persons even being stopped from farming.
Practically across the north of the country.
So you could really, we can't look at that huge population and saying that Nigeria is doing well security-wise. And it takes security to be alive.
Yeah. So that's a grim way of looking at it, because I love statistics. So when you say about half of the country feels unsafe, it takes me back to, let's say, the beginning. A lot of people used to think way back that, okay, insecurity was a northeast thing, but it doesn't look so. In the past, you could say 15 years, the security landscape in Nigeria has changed. There are different pockets of security challenges in different parts of the country. They look defined. You could say, oh, okay, if you go to this part of the country, this is the kind of security challenge you're expecting. If you go to that other part, but it looks like the landscape keeps changing. Now, can we still compartmentalize insecurity as being different in zones. What's the landscape like now? Just to help you, people would say insurgency is in the northeast. There's banditry in the northwest. There's the farmer herder clash, or you could say herdsmen attacks in the north central, and there's a separatist movement in the northeast. Maybe some little kidnap and other petty crimes in the north, in the southwest and the south. But it looks like the map is changing. It's not staying that way.
It's okay. Maddox, I want to let you know that it's not just that the map is changing, the map has changed. I need you to understand that. Kidnapping did not start from the north. It's a south thing because of the oil boom and all of that. Now, currently, the training insecurity threat recently is actually a kidnapping issue. Remember, in early 2000 down to 2009, when we had the first bomb explosion and all of that, it was Boko Haram. It was ideologically based. Subsequently, upward of 2010, we started having adoptions from the same Boko Haram set. And later, there was an introduction of an international influence of similar ideological, which is the ISWAP. Eventually, we now have banditry, which for me, banditry become a serious matter because there is proliferation of small arms and light weapons everywhere. Whenever you see a little weapon, people would definitely abandon the normal confrontation of an armed robbery, burning houses or banks or corporate organization to get cash. So it becomes a kidnapping matter where persons are being adopted either along the road or from their houses or in schools. Lately, you will notice that the kidnapping of adoption of children and teachers and even market women, all right? And sometimes, very funny, maybe certain cults, individual people, young people go to somewhere because they want to initiate themselves into court. Then the hoodlums will come and take them into the bush. In fact, we have an issue like that about 6 weeks ago somewhere in Jos. So it's important for us to know that even the kidnapping has become a national issue. Both the political class and the normal lower class, the citizens, people that they are just going about doing their little things for survival are facing the same problem of kidnapping. Schools are being shut down. Markets are being closed. Farms have stopped being operating. Forests have now become a barracks of hoodlums, kidnappers, bandits, call them terrorists, ISWAP, Boko Haram, every manner. And that is because in Nigeria we have a lot of ungoverned space. So for us, we cannot give a map to particular crime in particular places now. It is a holistic thing. And that's why, as a person, I will keep appealing to the government and our people who are charged with such responsibility to upscale their effort in nipping these very evil to the bud. Otherwise, things are becoming more difficult than we think ever. And it's spreading. I believe so much when NTA say that security is everybody's business. And so as we keep discussing, we will
get to the point where
we'll be able to look at
what everyone can do.
We can do.
But that what you've just said led me to the point is, are we learning any lessons from security incidences that have occurred? We go back to Chibok, for instance,
Yeah.
in 2014,
Yeah.
the girls were kidnapped. It became a big issue. And one would have thought that the government at that time and the subsequent government would have learned lessons and found ways to nip such attacks in the bud. But by the time President Jonathan was voted out, some people would believe security was largely the determinant why many people felt he needed to go. Then the Buhari administration came with his credentials as a former general. So many people thought security was going to improve, and there was that mantra of Buhari leading from the front. But then Dapchi happened. The opposite of it was the Buniyadi school attack, where they rather killed the boys than take them away. And since then, one can count the number of school kidnaps that took place under Buhari. And of course, it has also become a recent issue under President Tinubu. What is the problem? Why are we not able to learn from these previous experiences and nip them in the bud, provide proper solutions for them? Is it that the government is not doing anything, or they're not doing enough?
I would like to let you know that it is not that the government is not doing anything. They are rather not doing enough. And let's also not forget the fact that in Nigeria we have a challenge. Non-continuity of policies, of government policies.
Policy inconsistency.
An inconsistency is a very big problem for us. Now the Jonathan administration come and gone. They may have promulgated some policies that will have helped, if being sustained, could solve this problem.
Like the Safe School
initiative, which have died. I can tell you it has literally died. If it
funds,
is in place.
Funds were allocated for this. In fact, development partners actually also brought monies for this.
Well, you know, when development partner brings money, they don't bring it to me and you.
Okay.
They give it to our people who are leading us. Whatever they do with it is not our problem, or is not my concern, because that is their job. For me as a professional, I don't want to see that a child is being taken from school. I want to see that women go to market and return safely. People go to farm and return safely. All right? So if the Safe School initiative have actually moved from the two previous administration to the last one and properly care of. In fact, in one of the television discussion I had, I was discussing on the subject matter because I am compelled to start putting a document together to see if it go through the National Assembly, if we can actually float a special squad for safe schools across Nigeria.
Like a body, an armed.
Yes, an armed body. Take for example,
to provide security in schools.
Yes. In early 80s, with the then military administration in place, when they noticed that hard drugs was becoming a challenge, they float a security agency, an NDLA. What's the percentage of drug addict or people who take sniff drug or whatever, compared to the percentage of students in Nigeria? At 25 to 30% of the entire population. Does people that patronize drug, are they up to 5% of Nigeria? No. So if we can float a security agency to take care of hard drugs, people who are into hard drugs, what's difficult for us to put up a special squad to protect our schools, so that we know that if a child is taken from school, we know who to call. As it is now, we will tell you it is the military, it is DSS, it is the police. So we need, as a people, to begin to say, look, let's change. Even if we are not doing enough, let it be visible enough that we are not doing enough, but we are achieving some result. Of course, I can give it to the military, to the police and DSS, little napping of kidnap campaign here, and then rescue of children, rescue of adults here and there, but it is not enough. It is like a cup of salt put in an ocean. So we need to upscale our efforts, keeping our people safe.
What you just said now takes me to the issue of Nigeria's security architecture,
Yeah.
the way we set up our security and policing system, a lot of people think that the setup is inadequate. And we've seen the military being dragged into a lot of things that should be done by the police ordinarily. So it brings me to this. Do we really need to rearrange our political or our security architecture? Some people are already talking about state policing, and both the federal and state governments are beginning to give it some fast-tracked attention. Hopefully, sooner than later, that the law for state police will be passed and we could have state police coming up. Is that sufficient rejigging of the security architecture, or probably there's need to do more? You've already suggested setting up a special body for securing schools, but do we really need to rejig our security structure some more, including establishing state police, to make sure that it's safer for us in Nigeria?
Yes, I felt very strongly that we need to rejig our security structure to the extent not of collapsing the various agencies into one or two.
Okay.
But there are basic challenges even our security agencies are having. One is funding. Two is a very serious challenge we are facing is the challenge of shortage of manpower. Now, I can tell you categorically, if you put all the security agency staff together in Nigeria, every uniform, and I mean the military, which made up of the army, the air force, the navy, and then you now bring DSS into the same. You put the police there,
NSCDC.
you put the NSCDC, you put immigration, you put the prison, that is the correctional organization. Correctional service. You put the Federal Road Safety Commission, including your VIOs.
This last two are Jara, yes, but let's still add them.
But I can tell you that we don't have all of this put together. We don't have a total of 5 million personnel. Are
you not being generous with that figure?
Well, I'm a very patriotic Nigerian. Let me be generous because that's my palace. That is my pooling unit. Do you understand? So I need us to understand that. Let's even assume that there are 5 million. What is 5 million?
Still not enough.
In over 200 Nigerians.
200 million.
Now, that is one part. Secondly, we have about 70% of Nigerian landmass ungoverned, which include the waterways, it include the forests. And because it is ungoverned, the hoodlum took advantage of the forest. In early 80s, we normally have an active forest guard, National Forest Guard. That has already faded away with time. Assuming they were still effectively there, nobody will go and occupy the forest. In fact, they will rather have to fight strongly to make sure they get in there. So for me, the state police is 1,000%, if you like, welcome. And it should be well populated and trained to take on this, so that the federal mind can actually have some, because these criminals are not living in the sky. They are among us. And so it is not strange if a policeman is here properly trained. One of the things I knew about the Nigerian police officers is that he will know virtually the faces of everybody around the place where he lives. He's trained that way. And so it will be easy if we have good state police and they are effectively allowed to operate and not hijacked by either the political class or any government in power. We will actually be able to reduce this insecurity, especially with well-funded.
That takes me to the issue of intelligence, the role intelligence plays in all of this. Sometimes you see reports that bandits on 20 motorcycles, 100 motorcycles, any number of motorcycles invaded the place. They traveled some kilometers to get there, did their operation, and still drove away. Nobody saw them. And I saw a report recently, someone was suggesting that a mass movement of motorcycles should be banned, so maybe a multiple number of motorcycles shouldn't be moving together and all of that. It brings me to the fact, how does it happen that the security agencies, the intelligence agencies cannot spot such mass movements in time? And then also brings me to the everyday people buying into security and being able to provide intelligence to the people. Sometimes it looks like the average civilian, average Nigerian person out there doesn't trust the security agencies enough to say, okay, I saw something, let me speak up. Despite all the things we say, if you see something, say something. But it looks like there's a trust deficit. People are not always very ready to volunteer information to the security agencies. But in all of this, is there an intelligence failure that is exposing our flanks as far as security is concerned?
All right. Is there an intelligent failure? What a smart question. Well, to a large extent, when intelligence are not being deployed, it is still a failure. We have 3 direct agencies who we can rely 100% on any intelligence provided: the police, the DSS, the military. The only challenge I am seeing that we are having this back and front is the networking, the intelligence sharing that is relatively difficult.
There doesn't seem to be a synergy.
Yeah,
Some people even
no
talk about
interagency.
interagency
Yeah,
rivalry.
exactly.
Everyone wants to be the one to
be in
hold
charge.
and be in charge.
So we will appeal to our people. They are working hard. Police is working hard. DSS is working hard. The military, we give it to them. But the point is that let's share intelligence. There is no Superman when your house is being burned. If your house is on fire, whoever is having what it takes to put off the fire needs to go in and actually put off the fire. It shouldn't wait until it must be these people or this way. So for me, number one, there should be an intelligence center, an intelligence bank, maybe coordinated by either the Office of the National Security Advisor or any chief person who is having this direct leadership to provide for the security architecture. The reason is because it will give a level playground. If the police get an intelligence, they push it into the center. They will act on it. It should be like a task force. All right. If the DSS have, they should share. If the military share, they have. And so with that, the NSA will be able to take on direct responsibility.
There is supposed to be a national counter-terrorism center, which is being superintended by the Office of the National Security Advisor. Do you think really that center is living up to expectations?
Well, I can tell
because it's supposed to be doing the kind of thing you are talking about.
But the name is National Counter-Terrorism. So if it is related not to terrorists, did you expect them to share the intelligence? If people are being kidnapped, it is the police they call most of the time. Go and check the numbers. Are you with me? Go and check the hotlines. It is either DSS or the military when it has to do with things like that, and maybe the police. So I need us to understand that our security architecture, the way it is arranged, the DSS are actually, sometimes I call them people who are charged with, gathering direct intelligence on the background. Then secondly, the police are for everybody. The military is for territorial issue. But now Every person is working together. So let's share the intelligence because our house is on fire.
So if we have this kind of rivalry between these agencies, and you said you're 1,000% behind the establishment of state police, are we not also going to be prone to some rivalry between the state and federal police?
Well, I am double sure that there's going to be a lot of checks and balances. It will be defined. For an act to float a state police, there must be green lines that will not be crossed. And so it will help us to check this thing. There was a time during the military administration, I think around 1991, 92, 93, where they had the administration of the then military head of state actually float a state police, where policemen were redeployed from various states to their home states to work. And so it was meant to also close such gaps. If we go back to it and structure it well, there will not be rivalry. There will not be rivalry. Do you know that in Nigeria today, we have Federal Road Safety Commission?
Yeah.
Do you know that they cannot chase you and arrest you within a street that is not federal?
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay. But I guess they do it. I guess
They do it. It could be because it's federal capital.
I guess they do it in the inner streets. But anyway, I love your optimism in terms of the synergy and cooperation among security agencies, especially state and federal police, when that happens. We'll go for this break. When we come back, the conversation continues. And this time around, we'll be looking at the social, political, and economic fallouts of insecurity in Nigeria. Don't touch your dial. We'll be right back.
In a world where challenges persist, we seek solutions for a sustainable tomorrow. The United Nations Sustainable Development Goals, SDGs, guides our path towards climate action to social justice as we build resilient communities. From embracing circular economies to reducing carbon footprint, to promoting eco-innovation, to empowering marginalized communities and ensuring inclusive governance and human rights. Through integrated approaches, we are fostering transformative change. I am Ife Onyekwere. Join me on the Development Report as we explore the intersection of sustainability on Universal Television Africa towards sustainable development.
Welcome back. It's still Inside Politics and it still remains Universal Television, UTV Africa. My name is Maddox and I'm here with Justine Ugah. Justine is a security expert and together we've been looking at issues concerning the state of Nigeria's security. Well, the picture has not been quite positive, but he is optimistic that certain things can be done right. And before we went on that break, I did say that we would look at some of the socio-economic and political fallouts and impact of insecurity in Nigeria. Let's start from the economic side of it. Aside from the fact that insecurity has changed our habits, how comfortable we feel as a people. So many people can't travel to their homes today. So many people can't travel by road. Even when they travel by air, some people choose the airport they go to. Some people choose the destinations they go to. I know many people won't fly to Maiduguri for whatever it is you promised them because there's a fear that it's an insecure place. So there are some social disruptions that have come with insecurity. But looking at the economic side of it, it was reported that for last year, according to SBM intelligence, Nigerians spent about 2 trillion naira on ransom. And there was a further breakdown according to geopolitical zones. And when some of the figures came in, some people said, some regions apparently look like they are underreported, which also ties into the fact that some of the kidnappers warn their victims and their families not to report to the security agencies. And so such transactions happen and go unreported and therefore undocumented. It brings me to the development of what you could call a war economy. And it's a two-sided thing. One is that the bandits are making a killing The kidnappers are making a killing. They tax communities to pay them to be able to do some of the basicest things. They collect ransom and all of that. Sometimes they even ask for material goods, bring motorcycles, bring food, bring that. Aside from the money, it has also become a business. There's a business side to it for the bandits. And then there's increased government spending on security budgets. In fact, this year, we're spending in excess of 5 trillion naira. How is this affecting Nigeria and Nigerians and the economy of it? Some people would say those people who are handling the security budget don't want insecurity to end because they have them line their pockets. And with these gentlemen in the bush getting all this money, they have been empowered to arm themselves some more and move on. Give us the scale of the economies, the war economy that is developing in Nigeria.
Yeah, war economy, as you said, is affecting us badly, and I mean badly. If the government is or has budgeted over 5 trillion on security, you know the negative impact that is having on the national economy. That is a budget of about 2 or 3 states put together. And so suppose we have seen that if we, let's say, without insecurity, that same fund will have been pushed into development to put maybe to provide us either with light, good roads, scholarship for education, new hospitals for healthcare, and engagement of more professionals into the system to make sure that we get benefit for our money. Now, on the part of the bandits, the kidnappers in the bush, that is empowering the wrong persons to do us more harm than good. So for me, I agree with you that it's an economic war. But as a people, as government, we are already aware of the problem. We are aware of the challenge. We can put our heads together. The government should put their acts together. The individual should also cooperate with government. There are people that if they give an advice to the government, government will take it. There are other individuals that if they pull in their expertise, government may still take it. But my major concern this afternoon is that our government should do more. Insecurity in Nigeria can be stopped. But again, it requires the political will to stop it. So that we can deploy the funds to development or developing infrastructure that will help us advance.
Okay. Talking about political will now, some people say it's not about the funds. It's about how the government wants to approach it. And some people have said that government constantly, surreptitiously pays ransom or some kind of money to the insurgents, the kidnappers, and then come out to tell us that certain persons who were kidnapped have been rescued when in fact government paid to have these people come back. And some people think it's a lazy approach that the government is using to actually compensate people for criminality. And others are saying that there are people within governance who are complicit in these kind of things. They allow this situation to fester, control it. These ransoms are taken. Someone has asked, Sheikh Gumi, for instance, has said, when you look at those guys in the bush, do they look to you like the people who have collected these millions and billions of naira? Is there complicity on the side of people in governance and our security agencies?
This question, you already know the answer, I'm sure.
I wish I knew. I wouldn't have asked.
What I'm trying to look, if somebody said the government is paying ransom, did the person have evidence? Evidence is the only thing that substantiates a claim.
But we've seen situations where government will say, "Oh, we rescued the victims of this kidnap or that other situation," but in media interviews, those people would say, "No, they saw monies brought in big sacks to pay these people," and some of the families would say, "We paid ransom to be released. Government didn't release us," after government had announced that people had been rescued.
Well, even if what the relatives of the victims are saying the other thing, and then the government is saying the other thing, we know that government have a direct responsibility to provide security and rescue victims of kidnappers. So whatever thing government said, if an individual can pay to get a victim out of the captivity, it means that government who is charged with that responsibility will not necessarily need to pay. They could actually go after them and fetch them, which is what our persuasion professionally is. Go after them, get our people rescued, hale and hearty. And that's only show, that is when government is actually showing that they are responsible for our security. That's why I am not armed as a person. That's why you are not armed. The licensed arm are actually with the government. The government cover more space than you and I covered. So we expect them to make sure that our citizens are not dying in captivity. In fact, shouldn't even be kidnapped, not to talk of being facing a death threat in captivity. As I'm talking to you now, we have so many people in captivity.
Yeah.
The cheaper guests,
they're not all back.
They are not all back. There are various people. In fact,
Leah Sharibu is still in custody.
Is still there.
So
It's
many
part of the cheaper guests.
Then, of course, the Oyo and
last week,
Musa kidnappers. Yeah.
A monarch and his wife was taken. So we don't want to be hearing this threatening news. It's not giving us a sense of being safe in our homeland. We want our government to do more. If they are doing something at all, they should do more. They should up their game. Otherwise, we are getting to a situation where it will be difficult to walk on the streets. We are still, you see, because Abuja is very secure. Go to state, try to travel from here to Adamawa by road. And if you will not going to engage on 40 days fasting and prayer before you engage on the journey.
Even after the praying and fasting,
then you
still need to keep some money.
Do you understand? So we need to get out this. And then some of the social structure that they should put in place, make sure that our road is good. If a road is bad, if a road is bad, you are more likely going to be kidnapped. Go and check areas where people are being kidnapped. It's not where there are good roads. It is where there are hotspots. You see big dish here. You will take where you are supposed to cover with 30 minutes. You spend 3 hours there. So you can be told, but if the road is good, you are moving at the speed of light. Even the person who wants to block your way will take risk. Thank you.
All right, but now there's a political side to this.
Yeah.
First and foremost, we've seen supporters of the federal government come out to say that insecurity has everything to do with politics. Someone said, look, don't worry, this is a year before election year. After elections, it will go away. It always happens. And some people have said, oh, it's the same thing that was done to Jonathan. They created insecurity so that he could be kicked out of office. They're now doing the same thing to Tinubu. And then we hear the other side of the argument that the current administration and the ruling party are too engrossed in seeking re-election next year, in consolidating their political power, that they're neglecting security. And people have also said the government is a bit lacks some empathy towards what is happening. We've seen what happened when the president went to first Benue State. He couldn't get to Yelwater. He said the road was not good. Then when he went to Benue after the Good Friday attack, he said he needed to fly back to Abuja. There's no light at the airport. And some people say the government has gotten too comfortable with releasing statements, sending condolences, and making promises or bringing people to book, and nothing is happening. All in all, is the government too distracted to actually pay attention? Is it too distracted by politics to actually face insecurity once and for all? Or probably it's those who are against the government that are having the upper hand by sponsoring insecurity. Which one should we take? Or is it a bit of both?
Well, any person can speak from any side of the divide. But importantly, I must let us know that it is not possible for a nation under the sun to be without insecurity.
Okay.
We are complaining because it is excessive.
Okay.
It's becoming unbearable.
Yeah.
All right. Now, if the political class did not fix insecurity, I don't know who is going to cast a vote for them. Because I need to be alive to cast a vote. If the place is not secure, how are they going to run an election? So I expect them to be on top of their game to make sure that the insecurity is fixed. That's my take. If somebody have the will to do it and is not doing it, it's like whatever you plant today is what you will reap tomorrow. If you are expecting me to cast a vote and I am not feeling safe to come out to cast a vote, I won't come now. It's even better that something happened to you happened to someone in the house than trying to take the risk of going all the way. So I know that people, those are against, those who are for, every person is saying one thing. Every person has become either a politician or somebody who is talking security. But my take is that both we as citizens and the government whom we vote into power should take responsibility. And that responsibility is ensure that insecurity is reduced to the barest minimum.
Some people are already suggesting that probably we should suspend every political and campaign activity towards 2027 and let the government concentrate 100% on solving insecurity. And some people are actually suggesting maybe we should even postpone the elections. And if we, like you've said, if we don't have a country, there's no vote. If everyone is dead, nobody's coming to vote. Even though we've seen people like the governor of Edo State, Mondo Beolo, coming out to say that, like I said earlier, that it's the opposition to the president that are sponsoring insecurity, and even if they kidnap everybody, there's no vacancy in Aso Rock. Should we just forget about the elections, forget about politics now and say, let's get insecurity solved?
Security is only one part of the entire governance, even though it is the whole part. I'm sure you understand what I mean. Now, it is not possible to focus on, put all the concentration on security. It is also not possible to put all the concentration on politics. We must make sure that whoever is saddled with the responsibility is taking it holistically so that we'll be able to get somewhere. Infrastructure deficit is there. Education is there. Healthcare is there. Then the security itself. So there are so many things that the government are doing. It is not only security. But we are saying professionally, we are having too much security issues. And we need our leaders to wake up and do more than whatever they think they are doing now, so that we can actually breathe. Because as it is, we are bleeding.
All right, so let's still backtrack a little bit. We talked about the funding for security. Like I said, a record 5 billion plus, 5 trillion naira plus for security was budgeted for this year. And previously, in the National Assembly, there were calls from within the National Assembly to invite the security chiefs, the Minister of Defense, everyone, come to the table, come and explain your spending. How did you spend this money? And we're not any safer. Well, some people have said, no, it's national security, so let's not just bring it out to the fore. We could also end up demoralizing the troops. But as a security expert, is that something we should explore? Should we actually call these people, sit them down publicly, and then come and tell Nigerians exactly what they did with all these funds, and we're no safer than we expect to be?
You know, one of the challenges we are having in this country is that we add issues to issues. If over 5 trillion or 5 trillion, as you say, was budgeted for security, there are subject matters for which each of those money were allocated to. There are drones, there are equipment, there are personnel, there are welfareism. Do you understand? So whether the security chiefs go to defend it or they did not go to defend it, what concerns us most, how safe are we at this present time? It could even be 100 trillion that was invested. If it does not summarize to how safe we become, it actually means that we are still far from where we are crying, from what we are crying for. We just want to be safe. We don't want to know how much is being spent to keep us safe. The government know what to do. They are so charged with that responsibility. Our concern, my concern as a citizen, is the fact that our people need to be safe. We don't want to be kidnapped. We don't want to be killed. We don't want to be threatened. And people have stopped going to farm. People are afraid of going to schools. Parents are afraid of sending their children to school. If you like, spend 10 trillion. We just want to be saved. It is the responsibility of the National Assembly to call whoever that made the presentation on the budget before they disburse to them to implement, to do that. Our concern is that Nigerian citizens should be safe, whether day or night. It's as simple as that. Thank you, sir.
All right. So, looking at now how we spend the money and how we equip our military, let's talk about technology. The nature of insecurity is changing. This is an asymmetric war that our military and security agencies are facing. And some people think that at most stages, the insurgents, the terrorists, the people creating problems are actually one step ahead of the government. You mentioned drones. How much, looking at our security setup, how much technology do we have? Do we have enough? What are we missing? What's that missing technological link that could actually help us turn this tide? Because some people think we're not using enough technology and we're not adapting to modern warfare methods. And then you tell me, the US and Nigeria have a cooperation pact, which has seen them bring in about 200 US troops who are said to be here for helping us with intelligence and training the troops. We've seen them conduct some airstrikes and all. How far, what do you think is the impact of the US involvement in trying to sort the security situation in Nigeria?
Yeah, thank you so much. Look, last week I was in a television station, Everywhere is Good TV. I was discussing fully on drones. Now, the war has changed. The war tactics has changed. The tactical approach has changed. The training also have changed. What we see between the U.S., Israeli, Iran war is what every person should actually imbibe. Part of which we have also seen a similar thing with between the Russian and the Ukraine. Now, the world is we have left the Adamic stage. A lot of the Adamic stage was that time that every person here hold a spear. Whoever strike first, you take down the other person. And then we graduated to all this ding-gong, and finally we have some, far-reach weapons to take down somebody. The current age is AI. The current age is drone, kitted drone. Where I can only be here and eliminate and wipe off the terrorist camp in Borno. Drones are not, even the unmanned drones are actually better. Unmanned area systems or vehicles, they are better than even using the direct aircraft for surveillance. It's cheaper, it's safer. You will recall that for some time now, a lot of our manpower, police, military have been killed. One, because of bad terrain, and two, they may have crossed where mines are being buried along the patrolway. But if it is drone, a mine cannot take down a drone. And for now, the insurgency in Nigeria the terrorist group in Nigeria hasn't gotten the nerve yet to make use of our airspace. Because we are manning our airspace. This is the reason why we need to take advantage of advanced drones to eliminate and disseminate these threats here and there. For me, investing heavily on drone and train the tactical team to manage it is a welcome development. I know that the government is already trying in that area. We have started, the government have started already, because I've noticed some little camp and equipment.
I still want you to talk on technology and also reshaping the system, but some people have suggested that the government should declare a state of national emergency on insecurity. And also they've said the government should declare martial law in some areas so as to give some of the commanders at the theater some free hands to do a few things, not necessarily chasing away government officials, elected officials, but they could actually be more proactive if given such emergency powers. Do you think that that is a good move? And then you could also continue on the drift on use of technology and suggest solutions that the government should implement now, especially those ones you don't see them already implemented. Because we can't talk about all this, have you as an expert here, and you cannot suggest some solutions on how to start solving some of these issues sooner than later.
Now, those who are suggesting that government should declare state of emergency on security, that's already been done. Time without number. The government has already declared state of emergency. We are working under state of emergency as far as security is concerned. Now, having said that, for me, I feel that government need to up their game in strengthening the drone system within the military corridors. And then ensure that real intelligence are being gathered, processed, and implemented. And then we should be able to have just like we have the counter-terrorism center managed by the person in charge of national security, we should also have a level playground, an intelligent bank where everybody is pushing his intelligence there and create some kind of, a level of truth. Take for example,
like an intelligence clearing house,
where every person
on the level.
Yes, and then directives will be given ASAP. And then two, the government should up their game in quick response to incidences. It shouldn't be that a child or somebody is being kidnapped for 2 hours, for 3 days. We've not heard anything about it. They've not started going after the assailant. That is actually making things more difficult. And then the government should keep the public informed. Don't keep quiet. Whatever the government is doing, say it and let the people know that you not just only say it, you are doing it. Brief the public day by day to know what they are doing.
That brings me to this. So what do you think should be the role of the media in this? Some people have said, media should know how you report and don't report at all. Oh, say it as it is. What kind of role do you think the media can play in terms of this?
Globally, the media work hand in hand with any military or security operations, because they, in fact, even within the security operations, they have the media personnel who actually broadcast their activities. That's why we have the police have PPRO. The military have
they have the commander of operations.
Do you understand?
Even different operations.
They have
Fasanyam, and
So
all
many
that.
of them.
They have all their.
They should keep the public abreast of development. Because
so the media can collaborate.
They can collaborate. The media can collaborate.
In this aspect.
But don't under-report or over-report. This is very important. Because whatever report people are getting, people are panicking. We are already under a panic mode. Let us not increase it.
Let's not make it any worse.
Let us make it any worse. So that we come to a point where the citizens know what the government is doing. And they can build trust on that. At present, there is trust deficit. And we need to up the scale from that. So that we can even trust the government by giving them information. That is what we expect to do. It is the responsibility of the citizens to also provide information to security agencies because they cannot be everywhere at every time. All right.
Thank you so much. It's been quite interesting talking to you. I do know that we would have some more conversations in the days to come with you as security developments come and go. But thank you so much, Justine Ugah, for your time. It's been quite educating having you here. I hope to see some more of you.
Thank you so much, UTV Africa.
All right, and that's where we call it a wrap on the show today. And I want to thank you for paying attention. Do remember you can go to our website, www.utvafrica.com. Go to YouTube, find UTV Africa on social media. We're available on Facebook and X, as well as on Instagram. Look for us and find our videos and watch. And do catch our channel on NigComSat. For whatever you do, keep it locked on UTV Africa. For today, we're done. We'll see you again very soon. My name is Maddox. Do enjoy the rest of your day.